Hey everybody, it's LavenderTowne, and today I want to make art about common insecurities because lately I've been seeing so much online content about appearance and beauty and filters and insane products like anti-wrinkle straws and baby Botox, and honestly I'm getting pretty fed up. So my first idea for this video was actually crow's feet because I saw a post talking about how cute of a name crow's feet are and how they actually are quite adorable because they sort of point in towards your eyes when you smile or laugh. And I thought that was a really good point that, like, if we didn't have this negative connotation towards wrinkles, especially on women, I feel like people wouldn't think that crow's feet are something that need to be fixed. But the anti-aging industry is a $67 billion industry as of 2022, so I guess it's no surprise that there is a strong push to make people worry about wrinkles. I know I started seeing anti-aging ads targeted at me around when I was like 23, so it does seem like it's starting earlier and earlier, and this idea that this is something that you need to stress about when you're in your 20s, when you're like just getting out of college or even before, I think is something that a lot of us can relate to, and so I wanted to design this sort of deity type person. I wanted her to have these sort of spikes coming out of the corner of her eyes as she laughs, and I wanted these like wrinkle patterns to be in gold, like they're almost made of light. I thought that was fun also because exposure to the sun also causes you to wrinkle, so I thought it being like this sort of beam of light, it also represents like the happiness that causes people to smile and crinkle their eyes, and this, you know, it's from a lifetime of laughing and crinkling your eyes up that these wrinkles are formed. So yeah, I also gathered up a few of my favorite female celebrities just to show how they've aged and developed, and obviously it's going to be different for actresses because they have both access and impetus to do certain techniques to try to stay young looking, but I still think it's interesting because we have all this footage of them and we can look at how their faces develop and notice that, like, this is Gillian Anderson when she was young in X-Files, and this is her more recently. Here is Jodie Foster when she was young and in Silence of the Lambs, and here are some pictures of her now. Like, when I looked at these pictures back to back like this, I honestly feel like it is a complete like conspiracy by this $67 billion industry to convince us that these little lines by their eyes are gonna make them suddenly like ugly, and that's the same for you too. Like, just like, if you possibly can, try not to buy into this because there are people out there who have like a monetary benefit to you feeling bad about yourself or anxious about growing old, and I just think that that stinks and it sucks and they should get a real job. But anyway, here is my illustration inspired by crow's feet, the whole concept, and of course I gave her a couple lines across her mouth as well for those smoker wrinkles that snorkel straw is trying to prevent. Next up, I want to talk about body hair. This one is very complicated, and it's been politicized over and over, especially with like girls keeping their leg or armpit hair. I feel like even nowadays, when we've come so far, I think there's still like a lot of weird connotations when girls don't want to wax or shave. Like, it means something about your politics or your sexuality or anything like that, and I just think that that's so strange, and it really goes to show again like how successful the shaving industry and the waxing industry have been in essentially making their products mandatory. I wanted to do something sort of cute and girly because I feel like the negative connotation around keeping your body hair as a woman is that it makes you masculine somehow, even though it's just like part of your human body. So I don't know how it can be anything because everybody pretty much has body hair, so it's not really a gendered thing. It's sort of like a I've been through puberty thing or I have a working endocrine system kind of thing. So to offset that, I wanted to give her a little meadow on her legs especially, and put little daisies in it, just because I thought it would be cute and adorable, and it would be a nice sort of pushback to this idea that it makes you super masculine to keep the hair that naturally grows on your body. And I also gave her some cute like bunny ears because again, it's like you wouldn't ask a little puppy dog or a bunny rabbit to like shave parts of their body in order to be cute or appealing. It's like insane. They have fur. It's a good thing. So, you know, sort of carrying that concept through and just trying to emphasize it throughout the illustration. That was kind of my idea. And I gave her some little wispies above her lip as well, and her eyebrows. Frida Kahlo was one of the like greatest early female artists to sort of explore this idea. She painted herself often and intentionally would even darken her hair on her body and on her eyebrows, and it's something she's really well known for, but I feel like a lot of people don't know the origins of that. She was really trying to fight back against this like very like restrictive, patriarchal, very white idea of what beauty is, and I think that her using her hair that way is really interesting. But yeah, I don't think it should always be political. I think that women should be allowed to do whatever they want with their body hair and whatever makes them comfortable, and it shouldn't be something that people talk about or harass them about, whatever they end up doing. I also think it's such a paradox because, like, especially right now, it's so desirable for girls to have dark eyelashes and dark eyebrows, but then you're not supposed to have dark hair anywhere else. And so, like, for me, my hair is really light, so I can go a couple days without shaving and nobody's gonna give me a hard time or anything. But on the flip side, I end up buying lots of mascara and like brow tint and stuff, and I feel like I'm in full conspiracy mode, but like I'm seeing all over the place all these ways that like people are feeling like they have to buy products, beauty products, like no matter how you're actually born. Like if you have this one feature that's considered positive, you're gonna have this other feature that you need to buy something in order to remedy, in order to be conventionally attractive and that kind of thing. So yeah, I really got to thinking about that a lot when I was working on this video. Next up, I wanted to do stretch marks. Stretch marks in particular are something that you just do not see on magazines or in movies or like on the bodies of pretty much anybody that you see in culture, like pop culture. Despite the fact that having stretch marks somewhere at some point in your life are really common, especially for girls, it just is completely like eradicated from popular culture and movies and stuff. That might be changing now, but definitely when I was growing up, I did not even really know. I only knew about them in the context of like pregnancy. I didn't know that it was common to get them when you're just like developing, or growing taller or something like that. Like you can get them a lot of different ways. And I definitely wasn't aware of that as a young person. At first I thought this one would be quite challenging, but I actually felt like I didn't need to make as many edits to them as I originally planned. Just because when you do divorce them from this negative connotation, this negative context, what they really are is just like these little dashes that when they heal turn silver. And I think that things that are like shiny like that have always been like considered pretty or appealing to people. Like you think about, we used to use shells as currency. We still do collect like pearls and gems and things like that. So it does seem strange that little dashed silver lines on your skin would be considered like a bad thing. And I know there's been efforts to look at stretch marks in a positive light, especially in the context of pregnancy. Like I've heard like this is your tiger stripes, or you've earned your stripes, or something like that, but even just without like turning them into a metaphor, I think that they're just fine as is. I mean, oftentimes people just get them when they go through puberty, like I said, or any time that you're changing rapidly. Like you can even get them from rapidly losing weight, which is surprising, but apparently, I mean, it really is like your body just sort of like having trouble adjusting to a big change. So I wanted to try to use like water as a motif in this one. I thought for some reason it does remind me of like a splash of water, and I like the idea that like all of these different illustrations were inspired by like an element or something natural, because usually it is just like a natural thing that we've been encouraged to feel bad about so that someone can sell us cream. I ended up making the pink stretch marks look more realistic and just like a very naturalistic drawing of them, and then do the healed ones as little constellations, because I was torn between wanting to show them in a more metaphorical way like I did with crow's feet versus showing them a little bit more like naturalistic like I did with the body hair. So I kind of wanted to go in between for this last one. So here are my 3 illustrations of common insecurities. Let me know if you'd like to see any others, and I will see you guys in the next one. A huge thank you to all of my patrons, including Grexius, Olia, Liddy Savior, Roro, Rayons, Vorpalmat, Brandon Stark, CB, Crosby F, Lucy Amajiki, Liv Liv, Salty Jackrabbit, Ravens Crow, Zosalot, T-Hill Music, Jabber Dabber Doo, Kadaria, Deadly Nightshade Art, Astral Fox Art, The Expressive Poker Face, Subaki, Cutie Pie, Ruined Raincrow, Ice Cream Pal, Cola, JJ Jade, and of course, Lib 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 Lib.